Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all you fine folks out there. Gonna do our normal audio test here and see how we're doing there. Let's see. Turn her up just a little bit. That should be fine, right, folks? Let's see here. Bring this up over here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all you fine folks out there. Gonna do our normal audio test here and see how we're doing there. Let's see. Turn her up just a little bit. Yeah, that seems to be working pretty well. What's going on, guys? And ladies and gents, of course. I don't want to say just guys, because someone will get offended and want to kill me. But how is everybody this Friday evening, Saturday morning, depending on where you're at? Oh, quite a long day. So what is going on? Let's see here. Seem to be doing okay there. What's new happening? Anything with all you fine folks? All the usual suspects here. See, Renee Cruz is in there. Kyle Harvey's in there. Mamie's in there. Joss D. Mags K. What's going on, all you fine folks? Mars the Second Genesis. What's happening? Good to see you in there. Elaine's in there. Good to see you in there. I am well, Elaine. I hope you are too. Let's see. Third Eye Open is in there. Good to see you in there. Great for All's in there. Mr. Pete Ferrero, what's happening? Adam's in there. What's going on, Adam? Ozone. Hey. Let's see. Pat Owens in there. Marcel Siffert. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Please forgive me if I'm not. Hate to butcher somebody's last name. Tony Tanand. I'm sorry. How are you? Renee Cochran, what's happening? Good to see you in there. Oh, maybe we're always ready for a little pareidolia and some swamp glass. Imagine that. Find some crystal there in the swamp. I want to say hello to my thumbs down. I love it because I haven't even started it. It was already a thumbs down. I was like, yes. Oh, they just think that much of me to just take the time out to just do that. I love it. Let's see. Tony Gibbs in there. What's going on, Tony? Let's see. John Beck. What's going on, John? Good to see you in there. MG Toe's in the house. What's going on, MG Toe? Let's see. Let me see. What do you think? You should take a look. You should look at the stock called Rocket Lab, ticker RKLB. Buy it and put it in your retirement account and forget about it. You'll be rich someday. They make rockets. Yeah, a lot of people, are really getting into this. Like, it's kind of like when I was working for the company when I was up north where I lived. When I went to 401k, when I had my 401k, I literally just went, you know what? I'm doing all technology. And that's all I did. And most of it was actually across the big pond because that's where the money was being made at the time. And, of course, I put in, it was supposed to be like 6%. I think I put like 8% in and, so on and so forth. So when everybody else took a huge hit, I barely took a hit. I did take one, but I knew people in there took, 50 grand hit and stuff like that. I'm like, ooh, that's got to hurt. So, yeah, I've been looking into a lot of that stuff. No doubt. James Cragen, what's going on? Mr. Robert Morgan's in there. Phil C's in there. What's going on, Phil? Let's see. Noodles, what's happening? Good to see you in there. Renee Cruz is a god. Not bad. Nothing wrong with that. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you. You know that. You said UFOs and extraterrestrials do exist. The United States government is now out to prove that finally. Yeah, but I mean, they're not out to prove it, right? They're finally trying to figure a way to, like, squeak it out so that people don't go, oh, it's like, you don't want to bombard the public with, like, everything they know because you can bet it's, like, stuff you and I could never even dream up of what's really going on, right? So they have to ease this in. Now, anybody here would probably go, coup. In other words, if they just dumped a whole bunch of it on you, you might say, oh, well, it's like I didn't know that about certain UFOs, but it's not like it would be a surprise to you, right? It's like, well, it's about time they admitted it. Let's get it out. But to the people who are not into this, and they're just normal everyday people that just go to work, eat, watch a little game show, whatever at night, and then go to sleep, never even pay no mind to this stuff, they may have to go easier on them. So, yeah. So, again, Kyle, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Let's see. Tony Gibbs, you said, so great to be back on Friday night, sharing thoughts with like-minded people with open eyes and open minds. Getting rarer these days. You're not kidding, man. It's like sometimes, somehow, some conversation will get kicked off, and you could be at work or whatever, and then you start talking about it, and they look at you like, one, how does he know all this stuff? And two, I don't know what the heck he's talking about. In other words, because they don't get involved with it. They just don't know, right? So it kind of blows their mind. They're like, do I take this guy serious? And like, is he telling me the truth? Because he's coming out with some really bizarre stuff. So, yeah. Harley Quinn, what's going on? The USA has been hiding the fact that there is life on other planets for years. Yeah, it's funny because I don't recollect who it was at the moment because I just looked at a bunch of emails, but they had sent me some newest photos of Mercury, and again, blurred out areas. In fact, one, the horizon, almost to the point of the Terminator, you should see all of the actual blocks. Blocky blur they put in there, and then you can see some areas that weren't actually blocked out. Like if they wanted to leave a crater there, that's the only area you'd see around it. That would be clear, and everything else you see blocks of blur. Why are you blurring out anything if it's nothing but a raw photo and it's a maybe a moon, a planet, whatever? It's like our moon, right? Why would you do that? It's like if I went out and took pictures of the woods and I started blotching something out. People, first thing you question is, why are you doing that? You're out in the middle of the woods. What could you possibly be hiding there? But now, this is supposed to be a barren planet. And, of course, then we go to Mercury as well. And these are nothing but planets that have no life, right? So what are you blocking out? It makes no sense. It simply makes no sense. And I had people ask me that all the time. It's like, why would they block that out? It's like, oh, my God. I get tired of repeating the same story. It's like, it should be obvious. It's, even if you don't know what they're blocking out, it should be obvious that, they're blocking out something for a reason. There has to be a reason why you're blocking that particular area out. Doesn't matter what it is, right? Let's see. I'm just looking at the conversation between everybody. That's pretty funny. Tony, you said saw some moon videos from independent telescope users, big private telescopes, a couple that show multiple flying objects across the lunar surface. I just seen one too today, where this object was so close, and of course you can't really make it out other than it almost looks like a black orb, where it looks like it's traveling, but it's actually casting a shadow on the lunar surface. So clearly it's close enough to the surface, but it's literally just screaming by. And the moon's a good-sized moon, right? So, it's literally like this. It's screaming, over the surface. So, yeah, really, really cool. At some point, I think they know a lot of people are getting more and more telescopes. They're seeing things that people are taking their cameras. They're looking at the skies more and more now. At some point, you just can't hide it. You just got to say, listen, let's just tell the truth. But we'll have to do it slowly and in increments, or else people will jump off a cliff, which is silly because I don't think that's going to be the case at all. Pat Owen says, hey, Chris, what's going on, Pat? Cameron, what's happening? Good to see you in there. Mark Lewis says, evening, folks. What's going on, Mark? Let's see. What's going on, Glenn Marsh? He said, hi, everyone, from Cape Brenton. Sorry. Good to be with you all. Looked forward to this all day. Yeah, a lot of people do that. I do the same thing. I'm like, well, Friday's coming. Can't wait for that. Let's get that rocking. So good to have you in there, Glenn. Oops. Oh, this thing jumped on me. I love it when it does that. Oh, where did this thing jump to? Here we go. Yeah, this could just really jumped on me. Holy crap. Let's see. I'll just start with here. With Third Eye Open, you said I agree. Those who aren't paying attention will be shocked. Yeah, because they really don't pay attention to this. I mean, again, I've said this many a times where you ask friends, like, you guys see the latest photos from Perseverance? They're like, what's Perseverance? And maybe they had an inkling of, is that little rover thing that's on Mars? They don't know. They really don't. And, those are the people who would be like, what? Because it's so out of the loop that they wouldn't even know, right? Mr. John Ward, what's going on? Good to see you there, brother. Hope you're doing well. Doing good on the videos, I see. Some more of them blocks with the other pieces on top. I can't imagine that's like just all natural. It's one thing to see a couple rocks, because you can see that anywhere you go into a mountain state, right? Because like I said, I live in a mountainous state. And you can see like big rocks and maybe another smaller rock on it. But it's too uncanny. There's like some of them like in patterns, and some of them just, like they've been put there deliberately, right? So, yeah, really good stuff. Oh, Tony said, by the way, got notices on the computer and my phone, so working again. Yeah, well, don't hold your breath. I don't know how many people have said, yeah, it's working great, and all of a sudden, crap. That's why I always tell you guys, just check back. That's the best thing to do. Greg McLaughlin, what's going on? He said, evening all from Scotland. Sorry I'm late. You're fine, Greg. Good to have you in there, man. What's going on, Pete? Mr. Pete's Vlogs is in there. Steve Garnham's in there. What's going on, Steve? Good to see you in there. Marcel, smoking my medicine right now. Smile. More about. Yeah, Mimi. Yeah, you said finally we get more about Mercury. Well, I looked at two of the photos, and it's what they do to these photos. They butcher the heck out of them, because it's one thing to question Mars, right? People are going, that's the age-old question. Did they find microscopic life back in there, back in 76, 75 with the lander, the Viking lander? Did they, find of anything, any value? And of course, we know they already found stuff, some proof of microbial life, and whether it be fossilized or living. And so we know that they know this. So they keep playing this card like we're up there looking for maybe there's life and whatever. I don't believe that for a moment. I think they know exactly what's up. Let's see. But when you come out and say, like, Mercury and the beauties are going to be hardcore on these photos, well, we can't let them see anything there, because then they'll be like, okay, there's life everywhere. And I think we already know this. No doubt in my mind. Set this over here. Robert Morgan, you said, I've been seeing local TV stations revisiting old UFO stories that they all but scoffed and snickered at the time. Right. I was just going to say the same thing as I was reading the beginning of this, saying, well, it's safe to talk about them now because, hey, it's been out in the open. The Pentagon said so. So now all of a sudden it's okay, right? Yeah. Phil C says, what's that thumbs up button do? Hit it and find out. Bam. Everybody hit that thumbs up. Oh, Josh D said it too. Hit the freaking like button, people. Let's see. John, I wonder why your message was retracted. I don't understand that crap at all. But it said it was retracted. Let's see. The G's views. What's going on? He said Hollywood's version of aliens has dominated the public perception of alien life. Would be benevolent. So, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. You know, every time you see something like, other than Contact, which kind of sounded kind of freaky because, you know, when they got all of the, you know, once they deciphered the signal and got the plans to travel and through space and everything else, it was kind of like, ooh, we don't know if they're going to be like evil or, you know, good aliens or whatever. And of course, it turned out they were basically good and they didn't trust us. But you look at movies like Independence Day, they're like, oh God, I hope we never see aliens. You don't know that. They automatically like put that in your mind, so you get this, you know, right off the bat, you say, I never want to meet those. They'd probably murder us all. Come on. Like I said before, they would have done it a long time ago, especially when you would have had less technology. Kill them while they're weakest. Makes more sense, doesn't it? Cameron, you said, how are you this Friday, Chris? I'm doing well, Cameron. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you in there. Kyle, thank you again, sir, for your support. You said NASA is still scrubbing the photos because they do not want you to know that they have been lying the whole time. Well, at some point, I think this is what's going to happen, and I think you guys already know what I'm going to say. They're literally going to say at some point, or they're going to let it slip out in pictures, but they're going to make sure that they don't, like, doctor the photo. In other words, let's say they find, you know, some fossil on a rock, like they've done with Opportunity, and of course they use the rock abrasion tool or the rat tool to literally grind it off the side of the rock. But this time they're going to actually show it. Ooh, we have seen proof of this. Check this out. And then you're going to, oh, so there was life in there. And now, I don't know if you guys heard that, but in Jezero Crater, they're saying, yep, they can actually confirm now that was a lake bed. This goes into the no crap category. I think they knew that because they were saying from the beginning they wanted it to land there, or they wanted their mission there because it looks like what do they call it, a fluvial fan rather. When it comes down, it all kind of funneled into that area. They knew that. Why are they making it sound like we didn't know that? Come on, they knew there was water in this at one point, but now they're saying, "Ooh, we confirmed it." Yeah. Mags K, that's off topic, but that's fine. You said, just a wee heads up for everyone. Friends who work in care, I would imagine you mean healthcare, have been given the flu jab and the COVID booster. At the same time, have been very ill, totally wiped out. So I'd get them separate if possible. Yeah, I would never do it together anyway. Even if I was going to get them, I would never get them together. If you heard that they're trying to combine these two, right? You know why? Because they want to make this a yearly. Oh, while you're getting the shot, by the way, it's all one now. You can get that and the actual flu shot. No. Oops. Oh, this thing jumped again. Let me see where we're at. Kyle, who else is with me? The T-shirt that Chris is wearing is awesome. Stand up and say we want the T-shirt. Well, here's the thing. This is the I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is pretty cool. I think you can get this at the FYI store over in at the mall. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I got several different shirts of these, and going with the Mars scene today. Why not? That's what we do best. But yeah, I think it was the FYI store that I got it from. Phil, see, I built a new PC, and the electric bill has gone up $40. Mine's actually pretty decent on on electricity. It's a gaming computer, but it's not bad. I think when it's done loading up and booting up and all that other good stuff, it's probably, I think it's like 250 watts. It's just kind of cruising, just not doing a whole lot. But the other one I've got, the HP, it actually draws more power than that. I think it's like 350 watts. It's pretty crazy. Lena Franklin says, a Saturday in Australia. Well, good morning to you. Lena? William Kennedy Jr. I just watched an awesome documentary called The Cosmic Hoax. Yeah, that's the one I actually put on there, too, from Stephen Greer. You can find it on my channel as well. I've done that because he said once he gets it out, anybody's free to put it on there as long as you're not monetizing, which I didn't care. It's like I just wanted to get it out. So, yeah, interesting documentary, right? Orlando's Napilla Space Music. I don't even know if I even butchered that or not, but hi, he says, hi, old friends. Can't tell if I assume that's right. But anyway, hello. Metalhead, what's going on? Good to see you in there, man. Waking Souls, Chris, we do have technology now. We just did not realize potential yet. Well, true, but I'm just saying, picture yourself an alien race that just wants to, it's like hell-bent on taking over planets and wiping out the life on that planet. When you've done it then, you know, and let's say they've been keeping an eye on us for thousands of years, they're like, they're getting a little more technologically advanced, guys. We may want to kill them off now while we got a chance. Or they just don't see us as a threat anyway. But I would have, I mean, common sense would be like, to kill off the weakest first. So you would do this thousands of years ago when we were still taking rocks, banging rocks into each other. It would make more sense to me. I would not want to try to face an enemy that's really powerful and try to take them down, you know. Stardust Moose says, hello, Chris and Mars family. What's going on, Stardust? Dan Mon, Biden needs to stand trial for treason. I need to be put underneath a rocket when they launch it. Custom Tailored One, what's happening? Good to see you. And he said, Mercury's surface is 800 degrees. It's the closest to the sun. If NASA is obfuscating photos, then it's probably to hide an alien base. Now, I'm almost positive, I could be wrong, but I think, I'm trying to remember now, if it's 60 days it takes to do a full rotation. Now, keep in mind, you can be on the North or South Pole, and it's almost a sweet spot where you and I could live on it. And if you really research that, because again, it's here's the planet, and you got the sun facing right here on the. If it's not tilted in any way, shape, or form, which I think it does have a slight tilt, but if you're away from that, then you literally can live on that. It could be like almost like a Goldilocks zone on that planet. So it's a very good possibility. And you're right about the temperature; it's like outrageously hot. But because it has no atmosphere, it's super cold on the other side. But what if you were just on that edge where it's 800 degrees, keep going, all of a sudden it drops down to like 80, 100 degrees. So this is the reason why they're checking these planets out, even though it's something like, obviously you couldn't go on the planet, live on it, because you would literally turn into dust. But what if you could be in a spot where it's not so hot? And like I said before, I tell people, I said, there could be life on like planets like that. And people go, oh, you're out of your mind, man. Like you just said, it's 800 degrees. Okay. It doesn't mean they live on the surface. Or they live in a structure that, basically covers them, protects them, and they can live there all day long, artificial, their own atmospherics inside there, and not have to worry about it. I don't know. Or they just flat out live underground. It's hard to tell. Daniel Webster says, hello, Chris. Hello, folks. Yeah, you got that right. Mars the Second Genesis, he said, the aliens don't need to kill us. We are doing a good job, our job ourselves. So, yeah, if we keep it up, we will be. Yeah, it is a good documentary, William. He said, I recommend this documentary highly. Cosmic Hoax. My weather app just said, closest strike within 10 miles. Got some lightning going on out there. What do you think of that? They've been saying that for the last 3 or 4 days. Oh, lightning, thunderstorms. Haven't seen a thing. Maybe a little downpour, and that was pretty much it. Samantha Morris, what's going on? Good to have you in there. And this thing did jump a little bit. Let's see what happens. Renee Cochran said, I'm going to get the flu shot while I'm on vacation. I'm bored of not having to work. So I will, so I would like to work in, okay. Adam, no flat earth people floating around yet. Give them to me. Juxtabilly, what's happening? He said, hi, Chris. Good vibrations to everyone. Right back at you there, brother. Oh, okay, Phil. You said you play space program amongst others. Okay. Yeah, they'll run. Well, this is the reason why I've got like 2 computers running at all times, 3 monitors. It's whatever else you may have on the desk here, because it's probably 4 foot long here, and I just got everything kind of set up across here, and so yeah, it uses quite a bit. I got like a shop light up here. Just turn it off and don't need it. But so it's above me, all LEDs. You try to, if you're gonna have bright lights, you try to. Everything in my house is LEDs as far as lighting. So you can leave all the lights on, and it might take 100 watts. But they're bright. They're like this, but they're not that long. Because I think this is that might be a 4-footer as well. Lionheart Glassworks, what's happening? Good to see you in there too. Third Eye Open says, yep, I had a lab test today, and the list of questions they asked has expanded to stomach flu symptoms. So they must be trying to figure out who has regular flu as well. See, that's the thing. And you might have. Let's say you somehow, I'm not feeling good, and you're sick and everything else. Go to the doctors. They've been saying it's, what do you call it? It's COVID. Or, it might be the new strain. Or, it's crazy. But how do you know? I made jokes about that because I was like, oh, so let me get this right. So the common cold and the flu took a vacation down to Tahiti, right? How do we know? So they just basically chalk it up. Okay, well, you got cough, you sore throat and everything. Oh, clearly it's COVID. That doesn't mean that, But, when you find out and you research this, every hospital that claims that somebody has COVID, they get a kickback from the government because it's like they're taking care. They have certain care that they have to give COVID patients, so they're banking big time. These guys got serious bank over this. Jean, I just caught that. He said, Chris has been to Mars. That's why he's been quiet on YouTube, methinks. Don't tell nobody, all right? Shh. And by the way, I want my money back because you opened your mouth. I told you not to say anything. I would pay you off not to say nothing. God, can't trust anybody nowadays. But, no, I've actually been busy this week. But I do have another video, and I may actually put it out this weekend. So stay tuned for that. You may see one pop up on Mars. And literally, this is weird because you literally see things on, without doing a thing to the photo, there's things on there clearly that don't look like a rock. But then you enhance it, and a whole bunch more pops out. And I'm not talking about just lines. I'm talking about actual objects, which is really weird. It's like there's something there, but you uncover it, and it's boom. So in other words, it's all orange or reddish pukey color, and all of a sudden, you go over it, black. And I don't mean because it's a burn tool. I mean, or a blue piece will come out. Something weird. It's really bizarre, but a cool picture to, and I think it's really recent too. There's several that I'm going to be doing, so I said, yeah, I got to do some catching up. I haven't really, there's only one this week. I said, I got to do some catching up because I need to get rid of these. I got them in Photoshop. Josh D says, I use a gaming computer fast and does anything I want. Well, I do game, LOL. Yeah, you definitely got to have it. Yeah, the only thing I've done to this thing was, because most of them come with 16 gigs of RAM, I bumped mine up to 80 and slightly clocked it up because you can only go to a limit before you start getting blue screens and everything else. And I would rather not go to that high and clock it up anyway. You just need slightly more performance, but you don't need to be, locking it up or burning up your CPU. So, yeah, that's not a good thing. So I just said, well, as long as it does what I wanted to do, and even then it'll still go flaky on you every now and then. It's just, it's a computer. I mean, and it's never going to be as fast as it was when you took it out of the box because you start putting all kinds of, different apps and all kinds of crazy stuff on there. So you get a lot of this stuff running in the background, which you can shut off, but it doesn't matter. There's still a ton of crap that you end up, it just loads it down, right? Tony Gibbs, thank you very much, sir, for your support. I do appreciate you with the flying potato. I like that thing. It's funny because you guys must, I don't know if they have like a whole bunch of these things. Some of them are working out. Some of them are flying. Some of them go, you're number one. That's just cool. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's true, Robert. You said if you put a cooling system on your computer, Apple or PC, you can lower your electric consumption. Well, that's what it is. But this is a gaming PC. Christ, I think it's got at least 6 fans in this thing. So it's definitely, and it's one of the newest ones out there. I've had it for like a year and a half, maybe. It's not the fastest one. I think the fastest one now is the CPU is the i7 10900, I think it is, where mine is the 99. Or 97. Might be the 97 i7. So it's not the fastest one out right now, but, if anything, if I do get another computer, I'll just slide that one over, get rid of the HP, and then put a new one there. But either way, I mean, it runs and it does what I needed to do. That's basically what it comes down to, right? Harley Quinn, you said I had 23 deaths of friends. Wow. That took the jab. I will never trust him. Sorry to hear that. I really am. I hear this all the time, but they don't want to tell you that because they don't want to discourage you to getting the silly shot. And I just go, look, I know people have gotten it and have gotten over it. In fact, one of the channels I watched, him and his girlfriend, wife, they just had it and they got over it. But he said, man, and he's a younger guy, and he said, man, it put me out and it literally put him down. And but he said, thank God a buddy of mine had an oxygen machine. I just had that on and just sailed right through it. He said, I'm still not 100%, but I'm doing well. So it's like I just went to the doctor's yesterday or the other day, and he says, well, he checked my lungs. He take a deep breath. That sounds really good. Sounds really good. He said, but they'll still give you like a breathing test thing and whatever. And I said, that's fine. That works for me. So, that works. Valerian the Mac 3, what's happening? Are we looking at Mars, Moon, or Antarctica? Well, here's the thing. I've got, I don't know if you guys wanted to discuss the other one too, the Richat structure as well. I thought that was really interesting, and I got a theory about that because there's like conflicting things about that. And I think this is the reason why Jimmy from Bright Insight caught a lot of flack, because he said he caught a lot of flack about that, because there's people going, well, it doesn't make any sense. There's been people that have been there, and they didn't see all of these things. And like I said, I'll get to that theory real soon. Yeah. Bombastic Buster says, CO, what's happening? Phil C., thank you very much for your support, sir. It is greatly appreciated. You said the Atlantis video, the very first thing you circled showed was a break in that wall showing a water pipe. Legends say Atlantis' capital city was concentric circles of land and water, so the wall and the pipes make sense. Thoughts? Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the same thing. I'm going, okay, why are we seeing pipes? Well, you'd have to move it, because they said, the way they explained it, and I'm probably going to be wrong about this, I'm trying to remember if it was the inner rings, because you had the very center, 1 ring, 2 ring. Now, when you listen to Jimmy over at Bright Insight, he said, and I think he said 2 rings of land, which technically it is, because you got 1 ring and then you got the other ring. I was counting the very center as well. It is a landmass. But let's go with the 2, and then you had 3 rings of water. Now, I think they said the outer one was for I don't know if that one there was for fishing, or the one inside, closest to the central landmass, was the actual place where they had fishing and all this other stuff. And it was lush green and everything else, right? So it would make sense if you had to move water from one to the other, right? Unless of course they had passageways, or like just to let water go from one ring to another. If they did not, it would make sense to have piping. You can open and close it. Maybe one was starting to get a little low. You could bring it up. So, and at that point, you have to think that it had rained back then, because where did the water come from? Clearly had to rain there at some point. And keep in mind, this goes back thousands of years ago. I think they said it was about 12,000 years ago when they said Atlantis literally disappeared. So, yeah. I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Just some of the stuff that you see in there, you're going, I find it hard to believe that's natural. And that's the way they come about it. But again, like I said, I'll get to that contradiction in a minute. And I think you're right there, Phil. I really do. When I see the pipes, and then of course they got these walls that look like they're kind of coming out from almost like the center, just crazy. And if it isn't, and I even said this in the video, if it's not Atlantis, then it's another city or something along them lines, right? Again, Phil, thank you very much, and all you other folks out there for the support. You are appreciated. Turklerin, what's happening? You said, did you see pipes on the moon? I've done plenty of videos where there's pipes everywhere. And if they're not pipes, there's some other almost thing, something that looks like a pipe, right? And you can see that a lot. I mean, pipes coming out of the ground, coming out of hillside, or call it what you like. On Mars, they'll call it a scarp, or, some goofy, name for something, hill or whatever it may be. And you can see the same thing on the moon. It's like, well, it makes sense. If they have to move liquid from here to there, whether it's in a machine, if they're mining, perhaps they need liquid. So it makes sense to have some kind of piping to move this stuff. I don't know why. It's like some people just like go, why would aliens have pipes? Do you think they just extract all of this stuff with their minds? They have to have things like we have, or something very similar that does the same task, even if it's a different kind of machine or different the way its propulsion is, or whatever it may be. At some point, I mean, they had to have had the same thing we had. Again, similarly, I don't know. It's like people go, why would they do that? Just kind of like, why would they have cars or something similar on Mars? To get around? I could be wrong. But people automatically make the assumption that, Mars, chances are they were completely like the Jetsons. And that's not true. That doesn't have to be like that. They could have been a lot like us when they had their great catastrophe X amount of years ago. And we are where we are now, where they were years ago. So, you know what I mean? They could have been a lot like us. Or like I said, I made the, I was saying that maybe at one time, thousands of years ago, we were both planets living like we can travel back and forth. Again, pure speculation. But if there's a lot of similarities to what we have here on Earth, it makes you wonder how that similarities happened. Was it when we sent the Viking lander and it looked around, maybe we got ideas in the shapes of their vehicles and decided to build them that way? Or totally not. I mean, it just makes you wonder and think, because if there's a lot of similarities, you go, where did they get them? Or where did we get them? Our similarities, because if they were a civilization prior to ours, how did we get just what looks like theirs? It's something that goes through your mind, something you think about, Claudia with a chance at UFOs. Good to see you in there. He said, yes, Chris. Good evening, bud. Glad you're back and doing well. Looking forward to the show. Hope we can look at some possible Atlantis, picks tonight. We'll make a good show. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to go back to the one we had done in the video. And, it's just crazy how much, there's so many variances in the photos. Have you guys looked it up on Google? It's like, one looks like you'd see, because some of them were taken by NASA. There you go. And they almost look like they're painted in cartoonish. The only one I could find that had some really good details was the one that I actually had in the video, and I thought that was probably the best one to show, because it had these hidden lines, what looked like these things, and then when you brought it out, these things come out. So, I mean, every other one seemed like it was just like way off, I don't know, just weird colors and things like that. Yeah, Mimi, you're right about that. Underground bases need pipes. The G's, I like the interstellar plumbers. Imagine the crack on them. Oh, that's not good. I know, that's crazy, isn't it, Renee Cochran? You said in California you can't dine in without showing proof of at least one jab. I don't know if there's other exceptions, like either, I know they said something about religious or, that you have the antibodies. I don't know if there's an exception to that. But I look at it this way. Screw them. Let them lose business. Like I said, the doctors and scientists from the UK said, we're not looking for herd immunity anymore. Everybody's going to get it at one point. So don't get me wrong. I don't want to see anybody get it and then, of course, end up in the hospital and die from it. But if you get it, you're done. It's done. It doesn't mean you can't get it again. But if you get it, you have a lot more stronger antibodies than you do with the jab. So that's the way I look at it, right? So they're saying there ain't going to be no herd immunity. Everybody's going to get it at some point. So I think that's the reason why they're keeping kids in school. They're just like, whatever. Let it run rampant. They'll get over it and they'll be fine. They're kids. They got strong antibodies. They'll get it. Now, some kids are having complications, and I've heard that in my area, but they're going to get through it. So, I don't know. Pat Owen says, I bet we are the aliens that put the pipes there. Doesn't sound far-fetched, does it? Could have happened. Could have very well happened. Mimi says, I guess they introduced us to many of these things. Well, it's that, or we found it. Like I said, we went up there and found it ourselves. I mean, they had a camera on, obviously, the lander, the Viking lander. Took a look around, took a soil sample. Oh, there's either metals in the soil, or there's a microbial life. Even if there's fossilized, then clearly they knew there was life. So they knew that. Took a look around. Maybe they seen structures and everything the way they're built. Oh, wow, good idea. How do we know? I would, if I seen something. Let's say there was something similar to like a vehicle we have today. And, of course, this was back in 75, 76. And they're looking and go, wow, what the heck is that? Some kind of weird transport. You know what I mean? And then I would go, okay, that's a great idea for a design. Right? I don't know. Pure speculation, of course. You know that. Yeah, great for all. Yeah, remember the pipe screensaver and then Windows XP? You'd see it going like this. It actually make pipes. It was animated. Yeah, you got that right, Metalhead. You said nobody wants to hear positive news about the vaccine. Yeah, well, you notice it's now starting to... Numbers are starting to drop. But it's funny, they'll say, and you don't hear this very often, but the numbers are starting to drop, and because even the Delta variant, but they keep saying, oh, look at all these people that ended up in the hospital today. They're not lying about that. They're not. But that doesn't mean the overall has not dropped, and that's the good thing. So as it's declining, that's a good thing. So that means either you got the jab, you've already had it like I did, got the antibodies, or you will get it and you'll get over it. So one way or the other, it's a positive thing. We've had friends that had it, and I said, oh, man, I hope they pull through this because nobody wants to see, people die from this crap. It's one thing to die from old age or, something that's, because you're old or whatever. That makes sense, but not because it is crap. This bioweapon. Bobby Pentland, what's going on? Good to see you in there, man. Your question was, is the helicopter still functioning properly? It is, but just like our rovers, we are on, I think it's perihelion, I think they call it, because you got the sun, we're here, Mars is here. So they're having the same issue. Like even China, or Japan rather, China, I'm sorry, they're having the same issues with, because they're on Mars as well. So they're all having the same issues. Even ESA would have it. Anybody who's on that planet right now is having issues because they can't get signals through the sun, although they can get signals. They're full of it. But I think on the main I think it's the VHF, they cannot. But I think on the X-band, as long as these rovers, landers, and all that can ping, they'll know that they're okay. So even the helicopter right now is not getting information back and forth. And it did have an issue. They said something about, I think it's becoming summertime on Mars. And anybody who's seen this lately, correct me if I'm wrong, where they're saying that the actual density of the air is now thinner. So instead of running about 2,500 RPMs on the on the rotors, now they're going to have to bump it up to about 2,800. So, but that still shouldn't be an issue. But it decided not to take off by itself, unless, of course, it communicates back with Earth. So that may be held up because of that. So, so that would be interesting. But I think they'll all be back to normal, or it's autonomous and it's taking all these pictures anyway, and it just does what it's got to do, and then of course it just uplinks it to the orbiters, and then when it gets a shot, it just sends it back to Earth when it can. That is. But yeah, I mean, it's still fine, but it decided not to take off. It was just having issues where the air's getting thinner. I guess it tried to take off and it could not at 2,500 RPMs. So like I said, it bumped it up to 2,800 RPMs, and I guess they got lift, but it was like, it's being cautious for whatever reason. Glad you mentioned that, because I just had read that, I think it was yesterday. Cameron, you said Mars is what got me into doing research, researching everything, I think you were trying to say. And, good for you. Like I said this many times. I got into this because I wanted to, before I started making videos, I was looking at the moon and, some of the older Mars and stuff like that, the landers and stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, wow, this is cool. And then I started getting into these photos more and more because they were putting them out for everybody to see. And I was like, awesome. I said, wow, I want to get this out. So I started doing videos. And I said, if I can get one person to start researching these, I've done my job. The channel's done its job, because I want everybody to start researching this stuff. Whether you get into it yourself or you're just watching the videos, either way, it's like, it's like me. I try to go into something I can learn something new every day, because you still grow. I don't care how old you are. You're still growing here if you're, learning something new every day. So I try to do that myself and, learn something new. Sometimes you're so busy it's hard to do that, but, that's what I try to do. Next case says, hit the button, guys. Hit that like button. Thumbs up, guys. Bam. Kenneth said, the sky is cold to us. If we do not destroy ourselves, we will one day venture to the stars. Oh, it's coming there. It's getting there. If we haven't already, that is. Yeah, pretty much, Donald Geisler, I think your name is. You said, be your own person. You know your own body better than most doctors. If it is bad enough, you have the ability to heal over time, and you will. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, doctors, they basically just general practitioners, right? So, what worked for you may not work for me and vice versa. But when you're feeling better. It's like, when they were giving me these medications while I was in the hospital, they were like, okay, you're going to need to take these. I said, no, I'm not. Like they had me taking, anybody who's been in the hospital for like corona or anything like that, they'll, they give you Eliquis. I went, okay, let me get this right. So I went over to my doctor and I said, let me ask you a question. If I'm not mistaken, the Eliquis is an anticoagulant, right? He said, well, yeah. I said, so is it an aspirin, right? Oh, yeah. So why am I taking something with side effects? Makes no sense. You can bet just about any medication that's out there, there's a natural cure for it. Now, obviously an aspirin's not, but it's like high blood pressure. You can take apple cider vinegar, whether you drink it or take the caplets. You don't need that garbage. It's, you just have to look at this stuff and, of course you got to be safe. You can't just say, oh, the hell with medication. Obviously, if you have to take something that's something really like something mental imbalance or something like that, you may not be able to take something natural for that, but it's something you should look into. Because I'm not a big fan of medications. I'd rather do it all natural. What was his name? Kevin Trudeau. Remember back in the 80s, this guy was like all over everything. Oh yeah, take the natural herbs and herbs and all this other crap. But now most of it was to push, to make money. But he did say one thing, and he did say 99.9% of ailments are because of a vitamin deficiency, and that's a fact. That is an absolute fact. So when you go to the doctors, get a full lipid test or whatever you get done, look this stuff up and say, oh, by the way, doc, when you do that, I need to know if I'm low on any kind of vitamins or anything like that. Okay. So if they tell you it's vitamin D or whatever it may be, start taking a supplement for that. Correct your body. It's as simple as that. But like you said, you'll know your own body better than anybody, right? Hello, Mr. Thumbs Down number 3. Renee Cochran said no wheat. See, that's weird because one minute they say you should eat wheat, and then other, they say you should not. Now, a lot of people like diabetics and stuff, they'll say not to eat wheat or whatever. It's, one of them's telling you yes, the other one's saying no. So yeah. Huh. Dennis Baxter, what's going on? He said, I went for a COVID test with all the symptoms. Turned out I never had COVID, but they never told me what I had. You probably had the average, flu. And it probably wasn't even COVID. They don't want to tell you that. Which I'm actually surprised they didn't actually say it was that, to be honest with you. Robert Morgan, I'm back, but the like button has been destroyed. I don't know if it will ever work again. Pelagic 6 says exercise can do amazing things. Absolutely. Every day. Before I even have breakfast, get out, walk 3 miles. And then I'm starting to get back into jogging again, so it helps. Third Eye Open is a herbalist. There you go. I'm down. It's the way to be. In fact, I still got a medication I was taking because when I was in the hospital, they said, well, you need to take this until you see another doctor. It's like, okay. So, I've told him, I said, I want to start taking 1 instead of the 2 a day. Haven't had any issues. Told the wife, by the end of the month, I'll be off of that. I'm good. I will stop taking it. And, of course, if there's any adverse reactions or anything, of course, I'll get right back on it. Common sense would tell you that. But, yeah. Just eliminate it. Most of the things, again, that are ailments is chances are you have some kind of deficiency. It's as simple as that. This thing just jumped on me. It went all the way down to the bottom. James Cragen, thank you very much, sir, for your support as usual. He said, Chris, great vids from you again this week. I only had the one, but don't worry, I'll make it up to you guys because I have, like I said, I may just throw one out this weekend because I got a bunch of them I need to get out. And it's because, like I said, I've been busy. I'm like, I'm so frustrated because I'm like, I wish I can get these things out. This weekend it's obvious that the CGI blur is not just on the moon or Mars photos, but on many of Earth's also. Yeah, I mean, if they want to hide it from you, they're going to do that, especially in an area like Antarctica, right? Where Antarctica is like, it's kind of a place where you really just can't go unless, of course, you're a military or, if you're not, you're just a scientist that works up there and so on and so forth. So that makes sense. But to me, it just seems like if it's an area like that, they don't have to show you jack. They don't have to show you anything. So, yeah. It is all over the place. Again, James, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, Renee said, walk at least 3 miles, everyone. And actually, that's not bad. I mean, and then I'm walking around doing all kinds of stuff anyway during the day. So, but it's made a huge difference on the way I felt. In fact, the second day I came out of the hospital, I was literally pacing up and down inside the house, one length of it to the other. And what I'd started off was doing, just do it twice, next day 3 times, 4, 5, 6. Until I get up to about 20 times, I'm like, this is getting boring. Let's get outside. So that's what I do. So it was a lot better just to get out. Although I do have a workout room, but I said I need to be out of the house, get some fresh air. Nothing better than being outside. Michelle Clay says, hi from North Wales, UK. What's going on? Good to see you in there. Scientific search for extraterrestrials. I get my carbohydrates from pineapples, apples, and green veggies. Well, that's what I used to do. I'd have something small in the morning, like maybe a bowl of cereal or something like that. But instead now I have like a container of, anything fruit. So, whether it be blueberries, raspberries, pineapple, just have like a variety pack each day. I do that instead. But that's after, I've went out and walked, done some stretching, maybe do a little jogging here and there just to start to get acclimated to it again. There's Mr. Petrozzi. What's going on, Ricardo? He said, howdy, all. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff of that, David Vaught. He said St. John's wort for anxiety. You can, and it depends on how much you give, too, because I know there's a friend of mine that his mom put him on it and it zombified him. So you got to be careful about just how much you do, because it can actually make you more kind of laid back, too laid back, right? I know, that's a great question. What's going on there, Jay? McGuffey says, I wonder if William Shatner or Bill Shatner will have his Trekkie getup under his suit. Yeah, I mean, you hear that where he was talking about how he's going to be going up into orbit, and he said he's super nervous about it. And it's like, well, I mean, I can understand him being nervous, but I think that's awesome to send these guys up. Well, that's nice of you again, James, to do that. Help the boys out, the CGI folks out there with some glasses, clean them up a little bit for them. I'm sure they appreciate it. I appreciate it too, James. Thank you. But yeah, these poor guys, man, they just keep, something wrong with them glasses. I don't think I've ever heard of that, Jonathan Waddell. You said, if anyone here likes the ancient megalith building theory, I recommend watching Wise Up YouTube channel. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Kind of sounds familiar, but I don't know if I have. Bad Owen, you said, I have not eaten since Wednesday, but tomorrow I can eat. Man, if I don't eat every 3 or 4 hours, I'm in a world of hurt. However, that has changed. I don't have to eat as frequently like I did. I'm kind of glad. It's probably the best thing that came out of coming out of the hospital. I mean, believe it or not, there was 2 or 3 days I didn't eat at all there. I mean, obviously you're on intravenous and all this other crap, but meaning other stuff there to, supply the body. But it's just weird. But I didn't have any problem with it. I was like, well, in a sense, I'm kind of glad. Even though you still can eat trash food, it's still not as much. So in other words, eat healthy, and maybe we'll have obviously for the dinner have a home cooked meal. But in the morning you have, either veggies or fruits and stuff like that. So definitely a lot better, more healthier for you. You might have just answered your own question, Mags. There's thunder. You guys hear that? He said, so if all of these people piling in from other countries and they have TB and other viruses, why is that okay? I'm perplexed as to why we need to have mandates. That may be a reason, because they're coming into this country. So they're help feeding it, or perpetuating these different, whatever it may be, viruses, what have you. But I'm with you on that. It's just I don't think they should be mandating crap, to be honest with you. Now, some people will argue with you saying, well, they need to because it's only right. And I'm saying, well, you know, it's like me. If they say, have you gotten a shot? No. Why? Well, because I've already had COVID. No, what does that mean? Well, first of all, even if I was to get the shot, you got to wait at least 3 months. That's first and foremost. Secondly, you know, I've got more antibodies than that jab, so why would I want the jab? It wouldn't make any sense. So, and despite what anybody tells you, your antibodies can last in your body for a long, long time. Not 6 months, not 8 months, but a long time. So, just research this stuff. Phil C., thank you again for your support, brother. He said, Chris, I might have missed this answer because I went on break, but the chat wants to know about your shirt and where to get one. Same here. Well, again, I got this at, I think it was a FYI store that you can find in the malls. And that's where I got it. There's a whole bunch we can get there. There's anything from Godzilla to Moon to Mars and all this other stuff. All these different ones. And I believe that's where I got this one here. In fact, I got several ones from there. Different types, and they're pretty cool. Max, hey, just realized Chris ain't a doctor. He examines Mars pictures. Still looking at Antarctica pics. So much to see. Yeah, I mean, it's like, the only thing I do is like, because it's funny because you said I'm not a doctor. Yeah, I'm definitely not. But it's kind of like yourself. It's if you've ever had an ailment or you do have one, and somebody says, well, I just got that. You would probably be a pretty good, person to actually guide them. You know what I mean? So it's still nice to, help anybody out. So if somebody said, hey, my ex-boss asked me this, hey, can you tell me what it felt like when you started getting it, getting COVID? And I told him. So he knew because I guess he wasn't feeling that good, but he didn't tell me. Turned out he was fine. He was just under the weather. But I told him, and he said, okay. So now he had signs to look out for. And so he could, basically check himself. I said, okay, it works. Jean Ward, are you taking off? He said, cheers, everyone. Well, it's good to have you in there, Jean. Should have you on sometime again. What do you guys think? Jean Ward's a good guy, and I like his work. Does really good work. If you guys haven't checked him out, check out his channel, Jean Ward. Listen, it's kind of like myself. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I know even my buddy David over there, Mars X3D, he's been talking about, he's so fed up, it's not even funny. There's no growth in the subscribers anymore. It's leveled off. I've been at 63.3 for I don't know how long, and it's bull. I know Jean has been working his tail off, not so much to, whether it's to make money. It's not even about that. It's about why are these channels stagnant? Ooh, conspiracy. And like I've always said, to me, it's not a conspiracy if you can back it with facts. That's the way I look at it. And I know he's seen it. Dave is frustrated. He's like, he just wants to get off of it, period. He's just tired of it. He said he'll still do videos, but it's not going to be like before. He wants to spend more time with his family. He's just getting kind of frustrated. I don't blame him because it's like, obviously he's got his own subs, just like I have you guys here. But, you want more and more people around the world to be able to see this and kind of wake them up, if you will. Now, of course, you're going to want to be woken up. But, the way I look at it, it's like, I don't get it. Why are they doing that? But I think we know the answer. Nick Savage, what's going on? He said, always appreciate your Chris talks. I appreciate that, man. Metalhead, you said, almost 60 years old here. You're about 5 years older than I am. Not too bad. Ooh, I just gave away my age. Oh, let's see. All right, let me see. Let me go down to the bottom here. Exactly, Douglas D. You said you're getting hammered. You said because you're getting hammered because you're showing us things they want to be the only ones to see. Yeah, pretty much. They're just blocking out when they're hoping that you and I don't see the stuff in these photos. But you can find it. It's definitely there. Equalizer, he said, Wow, I didn't think you'd be on, something like that. I didn't think you'd be live tonight. Good to see you're looking good. Well, I appreciate it, Equalizer. Yeah, we're working on it. We're pretty much back to normal here. We are doing a lot better than before. It's all got to do with just taking care of yourself, being proactive, you know what I mean? Yeah, Tamty Girl, I'm just, I get that a lot. You said the last 3 vids of yours, I did not get a notification for. Absolutely, I know. And a lot of people have come to me and said, oh, I don't know why I had to subscribe again. Why is that? It's almost like they're going, oh, they won't know. Just go ahead and kick them off here and there. I'm actually going to ask them about the subscriber count. It's bull. It's absolutely bull. The only reason why you don't get more subscribers, I don't care if any one of you guys had channels, because I know a few of you do. Several of you do. And the only reason why you would not get it, more subscribers, because they're not advertising your channel. They're not putting it on the suggested videos on the right-hand side. So if I was to put on there, Mars, and let's say several of you're doing Mars, which several of you do. John Ward, the Second Genesis, there's many people that are doing it. And if you're not in there, you're not being suggested, how can you possibly be viewed? So they're doing it on their end. Now, I asked them one time before, they said, well, we don't do any of that kind of stuff. We don't, basically blacklist you. I said, oh, come on now. That's a bunch of crap. And you get frustrated because you want people to see this stuff, and you're going, don't get me wrong, I got great subs. Now, I'm not just speaking for me. I'm saying, but other people are saying that. But, I want more and more people to see what we're trying to convey here, and they're just stifling us, That's the way it goes. Argo Tanza, you said, Chris, show us the city from a year ago or so. Trying to remember which one you're talking about. I'm not even sure. Robert Morgan, you said, we are a species with amnesia, which we are, albeit slowly coming out of it, through digging as well as proving of alternate theories. Absolutely spot on. Yeah, Tony, you're right. You said, I follow a couple of sites that have lots of people that claim they were unsubbed without their knowledge. Yeah. So then they go, why am I not getting notifications? Oh, that's nice. I'm not even subbed to the channel anymore. Yeah, I mean, that's crap, right? Mimi Reaction said, I don't get much new subscribers because I talk in German, but the majority on YouTube speaks English. Well, you can always make sure you have the closed caption on there, or I think even on the video you can actually say a different language, so maybe it automatically will put it in English for you as a subtitle instead of them having to click on it. I know when you get on the video you can actually say change a different language and everything else, so you may want to check that out. Because, yeah, I'd like to see everybody who does videos here to get more, subs. I mean, that's what it's all about. Because you're not there for your looks, right? It's like, you just want more people to, see what you're conveying, It's what it comes out to. Enrico, you said you might have to put cats in your videos to not be blacklisted. I got a couple cats. I can do that. It's like, look, kitty. It's like all of a sudden the likes will go way up, right? Custom Taylor 1, you said, well, it's amazing because the evidence is there, yet the mainstream media doesn't touch it. Yeah. Might be something that's like a taboo thing. They don't say, well, try not to discuss that. What's going on, Nick Mad? You said, hey, Chris. Good to see you there, man. I think Pat's answering you. Guten Tag. What's happening? All shooting assailant bailed pronto. Hey. Yeah, well, that's true. You'd have to, Mimi. You said closed captions don't work for me. I have to write subtitles. Yeah, because it's some of them are weird. It's like, let's say this picture on here on my main screen, and it says, it's saying, well, the Mars rover, instead it says, like the green banana. And you're like, what is this thing even doing? It's not always correct. Some of them are pretty good, and some of them not so much. Equalizer said, if you are the minority or an organization that does eco crap, you get known everywhere. I didn't get a notification and I'm subscribed and have all notification bell clicked. They are playing with, yeah, well, that's what it is. It's a bunch of crap. It's not right. And, it's like whatever happened to freedom of free speech. It's not like you're doing any damage unless, of course, they were after the other channels where people were doing the John F. K., the 9/11. I kind of get that because it's, how that goes. It's back and forth with that. And it just sparks up a lot of anger and everything else. And I can kind of understand that, but, as far as stuff like this, come on. Other than other channels, we just alerted you guys, both, I'm going to try to think of it here. Hold on. Let me think about that a minute. I'm actually drawing a blank. I love that. So anybody got any ginkgo biloba? Anyway, so over at Our Alien TV, when he was talking about these 6 or 8 channels that are kind of crap, it's pretty sad that, some of these channels are literally doing this to make fun of other channels that are trying to be legit and doing the right thing. And, in fact, I seen him on, this one channel was putting, I think it was on Facebook, where it had like a bottle, like a beer bottle on there. It was as clear as a bell. I mean, it's like, come on, what a bunch of crap. And everybody's going, oh, that's bogus. Of course it is. If it's too clear, darn well that these folks are making this crap up, because don't you think if there was crystal clear photos, we'd be using them? And I mean raw photos. I'm not talking about the new ones that they really doctor up and they look, oh my God, they look so clear. There's more to it than that, trust me. And one of the photos I'm going to show with you, make a video out of, that one there is a perfect example of it. It's good. It's decent quality, but it's not the best. It's probably a 7 out of a 10, but you'd be surprised the stuff you can still bring out of it and stuff you can see without doing anything to it. Matt Patterson, what's going on? He said, what up, Chris? What's up, Chris, and everybody? Friday? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, Robert, you're right about that. You said they want you to pay to promote your channel, like making YouTube shorts, pictures, and with text and polls as well. Yeah, I mean, which is kind of stupid if you think about it, because they're making the money off of you. A lot of people go, oh, anybody who monetizes is making money. I think they're making more money than we are. Trust me on that. If you say yes to monetization, they get to put all kinds of ads all over your videos. So they're making bank off of you, and they're not having to do any work at all. Just taking the commercial, boom, 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 inserting it into your videos. They're not doing anything. So you think they'd want to promote you. You think they'd want to do this so they make more bank, but that's not the case. So it's like, what's the issue here? David Voigt. Social Security number, please, Chris. Sure, I'll give it right to you. Hold on, let me write it down. Oops. Hold on, let me go back. Man, it's still fun right now. I can hear this. The off in the distance there, but yeah. Marcel, you said this chat is flooded with Germans. Smile. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I love the idea that people around the world are actually watching this. Could be any channel like this. It's not just mine, but I'm glad you're here. And I love it. Just everybody getting together. There's many people around the world, and a lot of these people here will, the fine subs here will actually tell you this, that, it's good to be able to, and in fact, they said this at the top of the hour when we got on, actually the next hour. Yeah, it was actually the next hour. But they'll tell you, it's good to be here with like-minded people. Because a lot of times people want to talk about this stuff. They go, I don't know anybody I can talk to. I can't talk to my family. Can't talk to my friends. They think I've jumped off a cliff and lost my marbles or, some crazy stuff. And it's like, no. Just because they choose not to research it doesn't make you, that doesn't mean that you've lost your mind. It's like, sorry if you don't do any research, but that's not my fault. Yeah, well, Oliver Klein, what's going on? He said it's a way of disclosure, dissing on closing. Yep. All right, let me see something here. Do. All right. I think we were just talking about this. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but just a little space news for you. NASA spacecraft will crash into an asteroid at 15,000 miles an hour. Will it make a dent? Now, this is basically to see if they can actually knock incoming rocks coming towards Earth, if they can knock them off course. So that's basically what this is all about. At first I'm going, why would you want to do that? You're trying to find the composition of this rock? But then as you read on, it says, no, it's called DOT. It says, and you can see right here underneath this illustration, it says, an illustration showing the DOT spacecraft blasting towards an asteroid Didymos. I guess that's how you, Didymos, one of the two. NASA has announced the launch date of an upcoming mission to punch an asteroid in the face with a high-speed spacecraft. The mission called Double Asteroid Redirection Test, so that's basically what they're doing, either to redirect it or bust it into pieces, DART, is scheduled to launch at 10:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on November 23rd, and it could help the World Space Agencies figure out how to divert potentially lethal asteroids from impacting Earth. Which is kind of cool that they're doing that. Or you guys think it would be to chase anything else off? Think about that. Of course, it can't be aliens because they can outmaneuver anything we have. So I don't know if that would work. But yeah. Ricardo, he said, do you think Brian Laundrie, Gabby Petito case, is guilty and will be found by Dog the Bounty Hunter this week? Well, I watched a clip with him on the news where they were asking him, where Dog the Bounty Hunter might think he is, and he's pretty much spot on. He's pretty much good at that. And at some point, I think they will catch him in the near future. I think they really will. Because here's the thing. It's kind of like if you're on the run. Unless you're in a total desolate area and you're living off the land, never have to come back for supplies, which this guy was a camper and he climbed and everything else. So, I'm sorry. Excuse me. He could live off the land and everything. So if you don't have to go anywhere, nobody will ever find you. However, at some point, you will slip up. Either they're going to find you with a drone, you're going to have to go out. Maybe you do go out. Oh, I need gas for my generator. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's got a bunch of, solar panels. But at some point, you need to run the vehicle that you're driving, and somebody's going to see you, and at some point, you're going to get snagged. It's as simple as that. So you will get caught, no doubt about it. I think they'll find him soon. Jonathan Waddell, you said, people, it has been 2 years since all this. Unbelievable. Yep. Equalizer, he said, no free speech in the world now. UK is just listening to the minorities and minority issues. The majority doesn't matter anymore. You got that right. Which is weird because you think, especially with these elected officials, right? We're the one that got them in. So, a lot of people complain. It's like, then figure a way to oust them out. It's as simple as that. Next time you got to vote, you know what to do. Just be very careful about who you actually vote for. Let's see. Man, this thing jumped a lot. Mercy me. Pat, I like that. Du hast mich. Yeah, you asked me. Really good song. I like that song. When I first heard this song, man, I love the way these guys rock, man. This is awesome. I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? And then, of course, you go get the lyrics to it, the English lyrics. Oh, okay. It was funny because the first time I watched a video with Ramstein, or Rammstein, depending how you want to pronounce it, it was funny because one guy says, I wonder what this song's all about. And this guy says, dude, it means bros before hoes. I was like, oh, my God. I was in stitches. Oh, my God, that was funny. Let's see. go all the way down here. Hellfire Studios, what's going on? Good to see you in there, man. And I do appreciate your support. You said, hey, happy Friday, Chris. Long time no see. Love everything you're doing. Keep it up. Well, yeah, I'm glad to see you too, man. I'm glad you're here. It's been a while. Must have been very busy lately. Cameron, you taking off? You said, have a great weekend, Chris. Stay safe out there. Well, I will. I hope you do too, Cameron. Good to have you in there. I hope you have a good weekend there, right? Sticker 66. What's going on? Like what you said earlier. You said loads of lefties here. See, I don't even go by that anymore. It's sad. You know, it's like it. You know, my buddy Billy calls it politricks, which basically it is. It's puppetry, man. It's all it is. You know, and it's sad. People follow the left, the right, the this, the that, the other. You know, just be a realist, man. Just, you know. And I've always said this, you know, my brother is a huge person into politics. I said, man, stop right there, please, stop. He's like, what do you mean? I said, listen, I told you before, the only thing the president needs is a think tank. You've got your military advisors, you got your, you know, financial advisors, you got this, that, and the other, and all of these group of advisors. That's all you need. You don't need the left, you don't need the right, you don't need these house of clowns, you don't need these people. It's a joke. And, you know, they can't even battle it out the right way and try to fight for the people. It's all about money. Now, I understand you don't want the deficit, which is already through the roof. We don't want it even higher. I get that. But they can't even work on common ground. It's about, well, you want it this way, so even if you're right, I'm still going to go against you. It's silliness. It's a joke. You need a president, a strong president, which says, okay, military advisor, what do you got? Let's say there's 20, 30 people working underneath that commander. Okay. This is what we come up with, this is what we should do. Okay, what about our financial advisor? You don't need these other clowns. It's a joke. It always has been a joke. Even our president's a puppet, but at least he's the commander-in-chief. And, well, I wouldn't call the president the one now, but yeah, regardless. You know, everybody's got their own views, and I respect everybody's views. You know, I could be right on a lot of things. I could be very wrong. That's why I said, you know what? I respect everybody's. The way I look at it is, you know, you just want to say to these people, get them all together in the house and say, just do the right thing, man. Or we're trying to. No, you're not. You're just arguing amongst each other. That's all that's going on. Sometimes they do the right thing and they can get together, and be honest, 80% of the time, they're at each other's throats. It's a joke. That's pretty much it, Metalhead. You said politicians are babies that only care about one thing, cash in their pockets. And that's what it comes down to. You know, it's, you know, like a lot of people say it, and I agree. Why does the president have a certain term? These other politicians don't. You know, you got people that made a career out of their whole freaking life they're there. It's time to get out. Beat it. Phil C., be right back. Bear break. I didn't realize it was going to thunder this much tonight. Kyle Harvey said the United States government controls everything the president says. The president is a face for the government. Yeah, he's basically just a lip piece, right? He's, you know, that's the way I look at it. James Gregan, thank you very much again, sir. You said, Chris, in the video this week, I scanned it for hours, and some of the circular and web-shaped structures look very, very like what is on Mars and the moon. Yeah. And a lot of people have said that. You're not the only one who said that. They said, why does these things look familiar just like we see on Mars or the moon? And, yeah, why is that? Why is there a similarity? There's a few similarities I've seen myself, right? Lee Herring, you said, truth, logic, and common sense is what we need. Absolutely. Stop playing with the people. Stop playing with their money. Stop playing with people like that. That's a crass. If I shouldn't say that stuff when I won't say any more political stuff, I don't want to offend anybody. No, I mean, like I said, it's like for me, you could be one side or the other. I stopped that a long time ago. In fact, a buddy of mine says, "Oh man, who'd you vote for?" I said, "Me." No, seriously. I went, "Me." I mean, it's a joke, and then people go, "Well, you didn't vote for somebody, so how are you any better?" It's like, well, here's the thing, it doesn't mean I've never voted, right? I just go, listen, because you want to make darn sure, which is really hard to do, because you know how the promises they promise before they get into office, and then never actually come through with it. But you can't really blame the president if the House is already against you. So, people go, well, he promised this and he promised that. Well, I still got to get through the House, man. This is, again, where the trouble is. That's the problem. Yeah, great question, Ricardo. Peace sells, but who's buying? Absolutely. This one's pretty interesting, too. NASA's Lucy mission prepares to launch two Trojan astronauts. NASA has tested the functions of Lucy, the agency's first spacecraft to study Jupiter's Trojan asteroids, filled it with fuel, and is preparing to pack it into a capsule for launch Saturday, October 16th. Now, this is... Whoop, power just flickered. My battery backup came on. I said, you're not shutting down. So what I found interesting is that they're going to literally go to, basically there's like two groups, they said, that of these asteroids that literally orbit the sun, right? Now, it says right here, with Lucy, we're going to 8 never-before-seen asteroids in 12 years with a single spacecraft, said Tom Statler, Lucy project scientist at NASA's headquarters in Washington. This is a fantastic opportunity for discovery as we probe into our solar system's distant past. Okay, so, I mean, are they going to look at these things with x-rays? I mean, how are you going to study these things other than fly by them and near them? How is that going to work? I mean, anybody have an answer to that? Because I'm just trying to figure this out. I don't know. Okay, in early October, the encapsulated spacecraft will be transported to the Vehicle Integration Facility at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, where it will be mated with the United Launch Alliance Atlas V 401 rocket. The Atlas V will lift off from Space Launch Complex, 41. The rocket will carry Lucy outside Earth's atmosphere to begin the long journey to the Trojan asteroids. A few days prior to the launch, well, I don't care about that. Lucy's first attempt is scheduled for 5:34 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on October 16th. That day, the team will be called to stations at 1 a.m., which is when everyone is expected to arrive at Mission Control and other stations to monitor the spacecraft and run through the full launch countdown procedures. If weather or any other issues prohibit the launch that day, the team will have additional launch opportunities beginning the following day. So basically, it's going to rendezvous with these rocks. And again, I don't know what it's going to do other than just, I'm sure it's going to take pictures and maybe, be able to look at them through a radar or something like that, like some kind of penetrating radar to get a composition. That's the only thing I can think of. Oh, Equalizer, you're a naughty boy. And Probe Lucy, sounds great. Oh, man. Oh. Let's see. Yeah, maybe you might be right. Is it shaped like a horse? Trojan horse. Let's see. Perseverance rover confirms existence of ancient Mars Lake and river delta. The new results will help mission team members plan out the rover's next moves. But if you're already in the ancient lake bed, aren't you supposed to be doing tests there? Which they have been. NASA chose the landing site of its life-hunting Perseverance Mars rover wisely. Perseverance touched down on Friday on the floor of the 28-mile wide, or 45 kilometers, Jezero crater, which was picked primarily because previous observations by Mars orbiter suggest that it hosted a big lake and river delta in the ancient past. I mean, you can see that. It's just common sense, the way they showed the satellite. And from the high-rise camera, they knew this. It's like, well, and so I'm kind of glad that they actually decided to, say, well, it now confirms it. So, okay, there it is right there. There's a landing. There's the image from the high-rise camera on board NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter shows a orbital view of the delta fan and Jezero crater and the Perseverance rover's landing site, informally named Octavia E. Butler. The hill named Kodiak, which is that one that looks like that structure. People are saying it looked like a boat, looked like a structure was wharf in the back there. And you can see it right here. In fact, I'll make this larger. Right here it says Kodiak. That's the one they were near. So, man, it's pouring like hell. I can hear it now. Without driving anywhere, the rover was able to solve one of the big unknowns, which was that this crater was once a lake, which, again, goes in no crap. Until we actually landed there and confirmed it was a lake, it was always a question. So, pretty cool. Ricardo, thank you very much, sir, for your support. I do appreciate you. He said, hey, the Richat structure is a complete eye-opener. That is pretty weird, isn't it? And like I said, that was the only one that looked realistic in a sense, where the other ones kind of looked animated or CGI'd. It didn't look, well, not animated, but CGI'd, and didn't look right at all. I don't know. There's something about the other ones I didn't like. Yeah. Let me see. Let me see here. This was U2 rover. It's actually done. Let me see here. 1,000 days on the moon. China's Chang'e 4, or Chang'e, depending how you pronounce it. Lunar Far Side mission hits big milestone. Now, this thing's traveled, and you can see it. Where is it at? I think they had an illustration down here. I could be wrong, because I think it may be in the video itself. So, let's see here. Cannot be played. Why not? Played last time. So we don't want you to see this. We're hiding it on you. Let's see. The Chinese lander and rover are still up and running more than 1,000 Earth days. Is it going to play? Let me just mute this. Not that it matters much, but... I'm going to mute that as well. You can still see or read it. Yeah, I just thought about that. I said, well, let me go ahead and get rid of my face in there. So it's like blocking some of the video. Yeah, they were saying that, Mimi, you said, because you were talking about the gel substance, they said, well, it might be like a molten, glass from like landing or whatever. At least that's what they're saying. I'm saying, what else just landed there prior to them? I don't get that. Unless they're talking about that specific situation. But I don't think that's the case at all. Cartoon Mox says, happy Friday, guys. Yes, it is good. Friday is good. Pat, now. So, well, at least it's something China made to last. Ricardo, thank you again. I don't know if it was you too that also there was a couple of you folks had supported the channel through PayPal, which is a link at the top. I do appreciate you guys. I think you might have done that too there as well. So greatly appreciated to anybody. Any kind of support is awesome for the channel. I do appreciate you guys. So, sometimes I don't even go on there. I don't even know that you did. And I went on there today because I purchased something. It was a different mic. I'm going to try it out like wireless type thing. So I don't have to have this thing in my face all the time. Although it would probably sound better than the other mic, but we're going to see what happens. So I purchased it. I look on this. What the heck? So again, I appreciate everybody for doing that. You guys are awesome. Derek Balno, I'm sorry. He said, Chris, glad you are back and feeling better. You the man. Well, I don't know about the man, but I'm glad I'm back too. Definitely doing better. And like I said, just being proactive, just doing the thing. Just trying to get healthier, right? That's what it's all about. All right, let me see something here. Now, this is the one we just covered here. Now, this is what I was going to tell you guys. And you can see that we had done this particular one. The Richat structure. Now, I have a theory about this. There's conflicting things. This is the reason why I think Jimmy over at Bright Insight probably had a lot of people on him saying, well, that's not true. There's been people over there, and they've never seen any of this stuff over there. Okay. And, they have shown pictures we can actually see these people walking on the grounds. Keep in mind, this thing is like, depending on who you listen to, this thing's anywhere between 25 and 32 miles. We're not talking about 32 feet here. So it's anywhere between that, 32, I think it's 50 kilometers, I think it equates to, or converted rather. So, this thing is quite big. And if you're in a small piece of area, now a lot of these people have even seen, like, stone structures and stuff like that. All right. We should be back. Power just went out, and we're right back on, guys. What do you think of that? It was funny because it flickered off, and then I said, oh, wait a minute, this thing's not back on here. So I just made sure that button was on, but here we are. And this is what your support does. It helps us stay in the air, even though the power goes out. Just goes to show you, right? All right, we're back. We're back on again, guys. For some reason, I don't know why this other cord, maybe I moved it around, but this one here that has my the router plugged into, for some reason, that's not on battery backup. Everything else is. While the power went off, I was still talking. I mean, everything was still working fine. Computer stayed up. Everything was up. So it's just that one box. I don't know why that was not on it. So I'm going to have to check that, make sure that it is on battery backup, and figure out why that didn't do that. But anyway, yeah, no, that's the storms doing that, Pat. It's like just playing havoc here. But like I said, why is this shit going off here? The let's see. But yeah, I mean, the computer kept working. Everything was still working. I'm still recording. Everything, I mean, going live. Everything's working. But like I said, my one router, for some reason, I thought I had that was on battery backup. So while the lights went out, everything else stayed on in here on the desk. So I had to figure out why that's not staying on, which is no big deal. Just take out because it's like a little power strip, and just plug it into it. Be done with it. But yeah. But this is what this is what we do. When you guys support the channel, we want to stay on. And like I said, I got to figure out why that box is not staying on, though. But you see, we came right back. So most of the time, people would just be off, and that'd be the end of it. So, that's what we're trying to do here. Yeah, so here's my theory about this. A lot of people, again, argued with Jimmy on his channel, and some people have said here, too, like, oh, they come, there's been people there. I promise you they didn't check out the whole 30 miles of the whole thing, and they said 30 miles. Think about this. It's one thing to, what is going on here? What is this? Let me see here. Give me a second here, guys. Oh, okay. Anyway, so when people are arguing about this, I said, listen, they're not going to inspect the whole 30 miles of it, and would the local officials even let them do that? But here's my argument. Well, not an argument, but it's a theory. Is it possible that this was a radar image of this area? And then, of course, they just dressed it up and put the brown over it to make it look like, no, there's nothing there. And the reason why I say that is because it's kind of like the moon photo I did a while back. The video was, radar image of the moon shows great details was the name of the video. And this is what I had. And you can see where I had, not that, but you can see where I had here. See if I can find it. Well, where the heck did it go? I hate it when that happens. Let's see if we can find it here. Should be right here. Okay. This is the raw, untouched video of, not video, but photo on the right-hand side. Okay. You can see it right there. And this is the Posidonius crater right here, the little one on the right. And, of course, you got the larger crater here. Here's what's funny. You see the top of this, you'd walk on it and never see anything. You look at the one on the left, that's enhanced. That's a radar image. It was 30 to 52 feet below the ground that it penetrated. And this is what you find. I don't know about you guys, but they say, well, these could be lava tubes. These could be... I'm not seeing lava tubes. I'm seeing, like, over here, there's like 2 or 3 things lined up, in a row. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 things almost in an arch shape, like in a row. These, if you look at these right here, you got the Bessel. I'm not even sure how to pronounce that one, but these 3 craters right here, and you can see them. 1 on the right-hand side, the bigger one. 2 and 3, almost in a triangular shape. Those are the ones here on the left that are brightest. Okay? Funny thing about them, when you zoom into these, they almost look like towers. Almost like, even though those are craters, they may be an easy way to get in out of this area underground. Because to me, that looks more like a city than it looks like a lava tube. Just look at some of the actual areas in here, the way they're shaped. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks like you can actually see height to the top of this or underneath this whited dot right here. And it's just crazy. It's like, what is going on here? So I'm wondering if it's something similar to that. And they did some kind of thing here with the Richat structure. And it's more of a radar image than it is a natural. Because this would explain why if they walked all over this thing, if anybody ever did, then that would be the reason that they didn't see any of this. Of course, this is speculation. I don't know. I'm just saying, would that be, would that actually work? Would that be the actual reason? James Brown, you said the eye of the Sahara is 20 miles in diameter and 314 miles from the Atlantic, according to the Google measurements, Chris. Well, every place I've ever read was anywhere between 25 and 32 miles. Some even said 40, depending on who you are. I'm going to go with the 25 to 32. But still, even if it was, let's go with yours, James. Let's say it's 20 miles. 20 miles. The chance of you going in a whole day and inspecting that whole area in a day, that's not going to happen. You're literally going to have to camp there and look this stuff inch by inch. They found stone structures. They also found, artifacts like pottery and stuff like that. It's like tools to crush like certain things. And Plato never said that it was all modern, sophisticated stuff. They said there were structures. It was a giant city. Basically, it was a city. It was a port. It was a city. It was, they never said it was like, Martians or anything like that. But the point is, it's like, but if it was some kind of other city other than, megalithic structures or any of that sort, maybe it was, in fact, something more modern than what they're telling us. So, but I just thought that was interesting because I'm thinking about this. I'm saying, yeah, why would they not see this stuff if they're there personally, but yet we can see this stuff in the ground? How is this possible? So is it possible? I'm thinking, a theory is maybe this stuff, maybe it's an actual radar image and they just dressed it up to make it look natural. I don't know. This is the only one that looks the best photo. If you look at, just look it up. Just look it up on Google. They got they're all green colors, all different weird colors and all kinds of crazy things. But this one here showed the best detail. And what I mean by that is where you see it on the left-hand side, there was pieces of it looked like the ground was cut out to have a structure on it. And I showed the lines and everything to that. So, I don't know. Odds and Krabs says, so cool that you have that backup, Chris. We appreciate it. Well, the thing is, it's here's the thing. If you're doing any kind of research and you're in Photoshop and the computer goes down, that's not good either. And the other thing is, too, last thing you want to do is have it go down like that. You can do damage to your computer. You can either lose or corrupt a file, and next thing you know, you got major issues. So you don't want that either. But I like the idea of having this so we can stay on. Like I said, the only reason why, I don't know why that didn't stay on, this little router, but in the other room, it's also got a large battery backup, so my internet stays on, the lamp that's on there, the regular house phone stays on, a cordless phone. Everything is on this little, almost like a little microwave table, right? Little carts I used to have, and it's all on there. So, that stays powered up. I've got lights in the house. In fact, in here, it's all battery backup as well as this whole bench. So, it's good to have, especially, like I said, if you're in the middle doing work. Sounds like the thunder. I can still hear it. I don't know if it's off in the distance now or what. Anthony Bucciaretti, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And why can't these rover guys build a camera that works? $2.4 billion rover with a Polaroid on it. Come on. They censor. Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing. They probably get they say they can get 4 or 8K photos through these things. Let's suppose they're not. Let's say they're 1080. You can bet, they're very large photos and that, like I said, they're probably 4K now where they can get much larger photos, right? And you can bet they're HD, super HD, but after you downsize the photo, and they can probably make it in a low res as well. In other words, take 2 pictures. Again, you can take your digital camera and go to, let's say you got a 20 meg camera. Okay, you can turn it down to 1 if you wanted to and take a photo. Well, you give me the 1, but you've already doctored it up. You censored it. You give it to me. I go to zoom into it. It completely breaks apart to start with because it's so small, but then it's censored to boot. So you got a double whammy going on right there. So if you make it a lot bigger in Photoshop and try to cut through the stuff, that's how you bring it out. So, yeah, it helps. But you're right. Why do they have these $3 cameras on there? You can take your own iPhone and just take better pictures. But they do. They actually have super cameras on these. Sombrero Reptile, what's going on? He said on Google Earth there seems to be modern structures just outside the largest ring, maybe an airship for research station. Oh, it could be. It's hard to tell. Oh, okay, Ricardo. I was just wondering, you were talking to Mags. I believe they were surveying the magnetic anomalies and also did a radar imagery. Jimmy from Brightside's. This is one of his videos. Yeah, they're trying. It makes you wonder. It's like, if this is nothing more than a natural, just natural occurring thing, like they say it is, why are we there with radar? Why are we there with all the stuff? But they have found artifacts. Excuse me. They have found artifacts, so there you go, right? Brian Norton, what's happening? He said, what's up, Mars family? I'm in Mexico, not Ohio. Today, it's a good day. Well, it was until the power started going out a few times here. Hate it when that happens. Can you imagine if the power did go out, it'd have to reboot the computer. We would have been off the air, period. Is that my voice? I think it is. Yeah, Greg. You said, Chris, like I messaged before, the shadows don't match up. They point in different directions. Well, the only thing I can think of is this, Greg, is that I still can't clear my throat. But anyway, it seems like the sun's coming through this direction. You see on the left where the yellow cursor, it's probably really small on there, but it's going right about here in the middle. This is the reason why you see these a little off center on the left or upward, and the ones down here are a little bit off to the right. That may be the reason. But I'm saying to myself, okay, but still, you can see this has been, like, basically CGI'd. It's been drawn in, kind of like we see at Mars. We see the same thing with the orange, the pukey-looking color. So it does not surprise me. This is one that wasn't as deep into it. Didn't get it all, but you can see the land, well, the actual, I'm going to say, like, land mass type thing, or the cutout of the property, if you will, on the land, where you can see these cut out in the lines and everything else. All I do is brought these lines out. They were already there. And that's when I very first started into this. I'm going, what is going on here? And you can see these, like right here on the left-hand side of that. Those are not hills or ridges or anything like that. It's either these are made purposely and they just kind of went over them. Like there could be walls behind these structures to maybe to stop them, like when they have like dust storms in the, with these in the desert, who knows? Maybe it's to help shelter them? I don't know. But they went to town on these things. It kind of blocked them out. It's evident. You can see that. Yeah. Like I said, that may be very much what they did. Maybe they took a radar image of this whole area to begin with. I don't know. Anthony, you said, I'd like to see a video from Mars, and whatever happened to the microphone they had on the rover? Yeah, but that was the way they described it. This is the way they said it. It's only for descending purposes. I went, okay, so let me get this right. So we're going to hear a bunch of air noise as this rover is being dropped by the crane to the surface, or just coming down and then actually going through the transition, going onto the crane and then being lowered. I went, what would be the purpose? You know that thing's being used for much more than that. Come on. They just stop. Don't move, turn the mics on, and listen to everything that's going on out there. And whether it's, who knows, maybe there's things that fly in the sky and they can hear it. Whether it's some kind of, bird or some kind of weird thing, or running water. I don't know. But you can almost bet they're using that microphone, because think about it. I've always said this. In the very beginning, I said, what would be the two main instruments you'd use on a lander, like back in 1975, 76, when they had the Viking lander? What would be the two major things you'd put on there? Eyes and ears. It makes perfect sense. To have a, just to have other tools or just a camera makes no sense to me. And besides, having ears on it, you can take a 5-second sound bite. It's going to be a whole lot less information to transmit up to the orbiter and to Earth than it is to take a video. So it would make more sense to have ears on the thing and eyes. It just makes more sense. And I think they might have done that before, and if they haven't, that's what these microphones are for, I can promise you. I believe there's two of them on it. There's one, I believe it's on the mast. You guys remember what it was? It's on the mast and on the side of the body of the rover itself. Oh, yeah. Kyle said, I've been doing commercial building for 25 years, and if I say they are artificial, you better take it to the bank. Yeah, I mean, there's just too many things in there to believe that that's just all natural. A lot of people, one guy said, oh, that's not Atlantis. I said, if it's not, in other words, it could be another city, and they're just keeping it from the people. Why are they keeping it from people? One of the questions was asked is, it doesn't make any sense. Why would they blur it? It's just a stone structure, just like you see in Egypt and all this. I said, but what if these were made also with steel? Wouldn't that change your whole perception of our ancient people or somebody else who made this? So stone is one thing. You can build it all day, and why would you hide it? It's just a stone structure. And there would really be no reason to hide anything. You could just go, okay, it's kind of like Egypt and, Pumapunku and all of these other places. What's the big deal? And I would agree, totally agree. It's stone. What's the big deal? Or was this so modern and it was built with some steel as well, and they're just trying to suppress it from the people? To me, that would be a game changer. To me, it would, right? What do you guys think about that? Brian Norton says, sorry, I'm late. Bad boy. Hope you got a hall pass. Let's see. Kyle, thank you very much again, sir, for your support. He said, some of those structures are artificial. I've been doing commercial building for 25 years, and if I say you better take it to the bank. Yeah, I agree. Because I've seen too much of this. And here's the thing. When you have these, what look like walls, going out from this ring here, 1, 2, 3, and there's another one here, it looks smaller, then you can almost bet that these are artificial and they almost look like they're spaced apart. You know what I mean? Like the same distance. So, that's again telling me that's a good possibility that's artificial. And I showed you guys the walls there, and I gave you guys like a screen grab of, Jimmy's over there, Bright Insight, where it showed walls on the outside, like it come out of the actual city, and there was walls, and there was a pathway into it, or like a waterway into it. And I said, well, doesn't that look a lot like that? I don't know. Yes, Austin Crafty says, as in we can see identical things on Mars and Earth. Yep. Kyle, you said, I agree, Chris. There's a couple of structures in the middle sticking up by themselves with a little shadow behind them. Exactly. Yeah, okay, there you go. 30A. Is that supposed to stand like 30 amp? 30A. They're boat slips. That could very well be. Could very well be. Crypto Bear, just greetings from Holland. Are you familiar with Roger from Mud Fossil University? I did watch a couple of his shows. He covered this too, and I think you loved his work. I did actually see that, and it's actually a really good video. Good Lord. It must be lightning and thunder like crazy over there. So, yeah, apparently the storms are still going on. But, so I've seen some of his work. He does really good work, man. Like I said, when it comes to this, and anybody who's watched any of these videos had to do with this Richat structure, there's two sides to it. People are like, oh, no way, is that, Atlantis? And some people are saying, oh, no, it absolutely is. And I don't argue either way. All I'm saying is this is what I pulled out of the photo, come to your own conclusions. And then that's why I said I left you Jimmy's link to his video, because he does break it down in more scientific, because I didn't get into it where he did. And to me, it just seems like this would be Atlantis. Now, whether it is, I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I know that doesn't look natural. Marcel, you said 101 here. Good night. All right, Marcel, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Have yourself a good one there, right? Steve Garnham says, midnight in the UK, bedtime. Stay safe, everyone. You do the same, Steve. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Have a good weekend. Jay McCovey, a brisk walk around Antarctica is good for one's constitution. Yeah, that'll make you think twice. Let's see. Max K, sorry I'm off getting political. All the best. Oh, Max, this is the reason why I really don't get into it too much. You know that. It's either religion or politics. People get really livid. And this is the reason why, like I said, I respect everybody's, views. I don't get bent out of shape. And that's, of course, it's something they're trying to force down your throat kind of thing. And then you're like, stop, and then just walk away from it. But other than that, I don't, it's like you'll see it like on my comments, when you guys, a lot of people leave comments, and I'll put the little thumbs up and then a little heart type thing. Why? Because everybody's saying what they believe to be real or what they believe is true in their own minds about what they're seeing in this photo or any other video I do. So I give them the thumbs up and the little heart because, one, I read it, And two, I agree with you. Why? Because we honestly don't know all the answers, and there's no way to vet any of this. Now, this, better possibility because it's here on Earth. As far as Mars, no way to vet any of it. So you can't say for sure. So anybody's answer is just as good as mine. This is the reason why I do that, 333 says, I'm in the UK too, but I'm staying up. Such a rebel. Odds and Crafts said, could the rings be from volcanic activity, etc., but definitely looks like structure. Oh, yeah, absolutely could be, Odds and Crafts. Absolutely could be. I'm just seeing too many intricate things, like things sticking out from other rings, going to the other ring or to the outer piece. So I question that part. You can see right here, it almost looks like a large pipe sitting right here. I'll put it right in the middle of the screen. You see, like the very end of it here, looks like some kind of pipe or something. You can see edges of like white. This is what they're hiding here. And you can see some of this was right here I brought some of it out. You can try to highlight some of it, try to bring it out. You can see this area almost looks like there's a wall right here, and this is inside. That's a thunder. That's funny as hell. And you can see, like I said, look at the way these things are going out from this ring and going outward. That is just weird, man. So, yeah, I mean, natural occurrences absolutely could be a good possibility. How these things were made like this, if it is, Mother Nature's freaky. She's pretty good. Linda Borum, what's going on? You said, hey, Chris, what's going on, Linda? Hope you're doing well. No, I haven't, Mimi. You said, has anyone watched Attack on Titan? No, I sure haven't. Adam says, got to run, good people. You cannot be good. Be good. If you can't be good, then be good and stay safe. All right, you do the same, Adam. Have a good one there, right? Third Eye Open says, I don't believe that's a natural formation. I mean, like I said, I don't deny anything because is it a possibility? Sure. Because you know how Mother Nature can do some crazy things, especially when it comes to volcanic. And they said one person says, well, no, it was due to earthquakes and it pushed this like regolith up and pushed this up. I'm going, okay, I get that, but I don't see that. What I'm seeing in these photos is like almost like a spoked wheel, and it's coming out from the bigger ring out to the outer ring. That's what I'm seeing. Now, what this truly is, it looks like a city. It looks like something that was put together. Now, whether it is, I don't know. That's what it looks like in this photo anyway. That's why I said in the video, judging by this photo itself, I believe this is a structure. So, Mimi said in the middle there could have been a landing spot for a spaceship. Yeah, well, what I seen was it looked like a bunch of other structures all in here because I went step by step because the other ones you can see this better. But you can see this like these real dark orangey red kind of areas. These are objects that are standing up. And you can see that. Now, again, if this is a radar image, keep in mind they did say the whole area was actually washed over. And they said it was underwater between 8 and 12,000 years. I don't know how true that is because I don't think it was that old. But the thing is, if it got washed over, with mud and all kinds of stuff, maybe the stuff is actually underground. So I don't know. I own a Barker New Paradigm coach. What if the pipes are tunnels to deep underground bases, an escape route in case of cataclysms or just straight up transport? Very good possibility. Could very well be, or because if this is in fact Atlantis, would they not use pipes to get water from different sections? There's supposed to be 3 rings of water. Is it possible to have to go from one ring of water to the other and actually supply each of them? I don't know. But it makes sense. If it was a city, they'd have to have piping, whether for waste, for water, for whatever it may be, right? Dr. Krause said, I don't think it's natural. I just wonder if the original shape was from that and they built on top, but definitely looks like a city. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that same theory as well. They said, well, it might have come up like that, and they decided to build on it because they said it's very, very flat land. At least it is now. So, again, I don't know if this is completely washed over at one time, and all you're seeing is kind of maybe the certain parts of the range you're seeing a little bit, and you're seeing, but all of this is washed over with mud and everything else, and you don't see this. That's why I said maybe, and I'm thinking it's a possibility this could be a radar image. I don't know. Phil C says, good night, my friend. Have to go. All right, Phil, thanks for being here. I appreciate your support, brother. Have yourself a good weekend. Hope you and the family stay safe there, right? Yep. I'm not sure if you're not sure what that's going to be. GRTCH, Itty? Eye of Sahara, yes, or Eye of Africa, depending on how you look at it. It's called either or. Well, that could be too, Autograph. You said Bridges? Al Bundy said, Al Bundy, I like that. Bright Insight talked in his last video about the possibly big tsunami washing everything away. That would fit in a theory that water destroyed it. Yeah, and the thing is, like I said, if there's a lot of, you got to understand there's a whole lot of mud and rocks and everything just poured over this whole area. So is it possible they'll end up finding these things under all of that? Obviously, if they're going to use these small radar or if they're using satellite imagery radar, then they'll be able to find whatever's underground. They'll see this. And if that's true, man, this lightning's going crazy here. The power just flickered again. But either way you look at it, I see things that just don't look natural. And I think they'll eventually find it if that's what they're doing. The brown eye of Sahara. Actually, it does look kind of orangey brown, doesn't it? Jay McGuffey said the artifacts in history buried here could answer a lot of questions. Absolutely. Dr. Krause said maybe the structures were more massive before and they left the land looking like that. Like ruins you can see the lines of the structure. That could very well be. Jay McGuffey said sediments are excellent preservation medium. Yep. Yeah, how many times have you seen that where things were buried in like soil and stuff like that and pretty much were preserved, right? Oh, I hate it when that happens, Sky Blue. A photon torpedo did that. That's not good. Pete Ferrero said perfectly flat like Giza. Makes sense. Atlantis to Egypt. Well, that's where they heard the first word about it was from the Egyptian writings. They talked about Atlantis. And then, of course, Solon heard about it and then told Plato. And this is basically how it went on. Wild Otter, said the area of Africa was loaded with giant lakes and rivers 20,000 years ago. The flood destroyed it. Yeah, pretty much the saying it like we were just talking about here earlier, where they said it looked like a giant wave went over, and just, of course, you have sediment and mud and everything else, just go right over the whole area. It makes perfect sense to just get completely buried, Sparkus Aurelius, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that. It could be a natural structure that was then built upon, yes, and it has an opening into the Sea of Atlantis has an opening, I'm sorry. You're working, the photo is awesome. I never suspected upright structures. I'm looking over here at the neck. Listen to it. That was right by the house here. Let me see. But yeah, I mean, it looks like you can see where they blurred this, where you can see like this object looks like they're higher than the other areas, and that's what we're seeing. And if not, then it's something they really went to town to try to really blur out. Like this giant circle in the back, there's actually two areas that are darker, but when you look at the original, it does not look like that. It's right in the middle here. Sky Blue says ancient volcano. Well, that was one of the theories. They said it could have been an ancient volcano that at one time lava came up and then it just kind of just settled and it got eroded along the way. That's one of the theories, but then some people blow that right out of the water, say that's not true. That's why you got this thing going back and forth, back and forth. I was like, well, Bushcore, I didn't know if you even jumped in there. You must have slid in there real quick. He said, good night, all. Great chat. Nice one, Chris. Stay frosty. Well, try and do, unless, of course, the power goes back out. Oh, but, yeah, I mean, yeah, Bushcore, I didn't see you in there, man. I would have said hi to you earlier. But glad you were here and got to hear, see and hear the chat. Kyle said it has been blurred. This thing just jumped all the way back down the bottom again. AKA Man says, has this been dated? If so, how old is this, Chris? Well, they're saying, now if they believe that this is Atlantis, they're saying that this pretty much disappeared. I think, was it the last last ice age, guys? I don't know if it was the 12,000 years ago or what it was. I forget exactly how they dated this, but somewhere around there, they said, when they had, there was a cataclysm then, I think. But either way you look at it, they said it was around 12,000 years ago. Now, I don't know how true that is. They're dating it that way. Yeah, Greg, they were talking about that too. In the Sahara, which I have visited, you find seashells and ocean debris in the sand. I've seen that, where they actually were there, and that was from what, India Archaeology, I think it was, where they showed like these, like I said, the previous weekend, where they're using it for food and crunching up, stuff, and they showed like a seashell. There was all kinds of stuff like that. So clearly an ocean washed over this at one point. Jerry Lane, hey, I'm not billions of years old. Well, are you sure? Yeah, it's basically what it is, Odds and Crabs. You said it looks so similar to the Eye of Sahara. That's what this is. It makes me think they were both similar. Unless you're talking about... I'm trying to see if you had a prior one to this. Maybe you said, is this water that surrounds the wall? Well, I don't know, because you can see that there's a lot of blurring going on. Well, let's see. National Weather Service has issued a flood watch warning for, it will be in effect until October 8th. That's good. I think I said until 11th, 11 o'clock tonight. Nice. I don't know, Todd. I think it seems to me that there are areas you can fly over. I believe that people have flown over this, because you asked if this is a no-fly zone. I believe you can fly over it. So I don't know. But, I do know, because they have said that people have flown over it. I don't know if you can fly over the whole thing, but I'm almost positive you can. Andrew Cole, what's going on? He said, hi, everyone. How are you feeling, Chris? I'm doing much better. I hope you're doing good. Good to see you in there. Yeah, Matthew said, it seems like they date everything around to only 12,000 years to me. Yeah, I noticed that too, right? They've done that. Scientific search for extraterrestrial. Hi again, is this Mars? No, this is the Richat structure in Africa, right in the Sahara Desert. Ricardo says, I was going to say unreasonably. Unseasonably mild in Glasgow, Scotland today. Quite pleasant and mild. It's 65 here now, only because it's been raining. But I got up to, I think, 84 here. Wasn't too bad. Great question. To graduate, I wonder if Mars has dinosaurs. Well, if you go back to, well, you know, he's passed on now, but William Whitecrow, where he said he actually went through the jump room years ago. I think it was back in the 70s. They had gone there. Of course, the military was with them. This is the story now. That when they were there, the military had to shoot off and had to, basically use, guns and stuff like that to shoot things that look like dinosaurs. These things would try to eat you. It just obviously you look like food to them. So they were trying to, protect themselves with the military. I'm thinking to myself, okay, wouldn't it have been more wiser to try to kill all these things before you stepped out into the surface? Meaning you had to have made a base, if in fact there's a base there, to go out and just almost like cordon off all your whole area that you want to have a base and everything else, so you don't have to worry about these things. So I'm not sure I believe all that. I'm a bit skeptical when it comes to stuff like that. But there was, in fact, dinosaurs here. Now, whether there was there, I don't know. That's a mosquito or what that is. Seen that thing flying around. Custom Tailored One, you said, why couldn't they take off road, in other words, basically drive desert vehicles to get to that location? Oh, they have. Now, how much of this they inspected? Again, it's quite a large area. I don't know. But you could bet if they're there, there's a reason for it. And, they say, well, we haven't really found too much, as they're saying. But there's a lot of artifacts, and there was stone structures there. You could see those. I think they'll find a lot more if they dig. I think they'll find a lot more of it. The Olga one, but I'm going to enjoy watching this, rewatch the live stream and catch up with the NASA latest cover-ups. Yeah, there's a bunch of it. Yeah, it was pretty good there, wasn't it, Kyle? You said it was a beautiful day here in Columbus, Ohio. Low of 67, a high of 80. It was pretty nice. Jerry Lahane, you said I have fossil pics of Mars dinos. Rover Day 10. Oh, what do you call it? Opportunity. Rover Day in a crater wall where Opportunity landed 2004. Send them to me, man. I'd like to see them. Mars Anomalies at AOL.com. Love to check them out. Anchor Point, you said probably water was around the pyramids at the same time the city was an island. Well, and here's the thing. I mean, we all know that, Egypt was underwater. It was a lush area at some point. You can see where the Sphinx was. You can see the layering and erosion. So it was underwater at one point, at least half of it. So yeah, I mean, and they say at one point, the oceans rose about 400 feet, which is insane. Good Lord. I didn't realize it was going to be that violent tonight. But yeah, it's having a party out there. But I'm going to probably get off here anyway, because the last thing I need is to have a lightning strike and just kill everything in here. So I'm going to bail out of this, guys. Not that I can still stay on it if I wanted to, but why take the chance, right? But anyway, thanks for everybody being here. It's always appreciated. You guys know that. I appreciate all of the support. You guys are awesome. Well, I can do it this way too. Isn't it purty? Anyway. But yeah, like I said, guys, thanks for being here this Friday. Everything's, I'm doing much better, which is good. You guys are all here. Yeah, you heard that, huh, James? Chris, boom, boom, there, man. Yeah, man, it's loud and heck out there. Now, usually I don't care. I don't really care. But when the lightning gets a little closer, it's like, well, maybe it's time to shut everything down and be safe. You don't need to be throwing away thousands of dollars in computers because of a lightning strike, even though we're insulated. But you got a direct lightning strike, there ain't nothing protecting that. So anyway, guys, enough rambling. Hope everybody has a great night. Thanks for all the support. Doesn't matter what kind. It's greatly appreciated. And good to be able to hang out with you guys. It's always a pleasure. And much love to you all. And we will see you guys soon. Like I said, I'll probably put out a video this weekend. I'd like to get one out this weekend for you. And this one here is on Mars. And we'll have several others as well. So like I said, we'll leave it on for another 10 minutes, providing the weather doesn't keep getting stupid here or getting closer. So we'll leave it on for, it's almost, 7:30 Eastern time. So it's like 7:27. We'll keep it on to about, maybe another, to maybe 35, and then we'll cut it down. But anyway, thanks for everybody being here. All you ladies and gents are awesome. Again, much love to you, everybody. And be safe out there. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys soon.